The RBA Governor Michele Bullock has told a Senate Estimates Committee that the central bank is wary that inflation may not be coming under control. Let's bring in our Sky News political reporter Joel Philp. And Joel, the Governor used pretty careful words, didn't she, throughout the hearing to describe the consistency that she's projecting is going on within the RBA.
She did, Ash. This is the first time that Michele Bullock has fronted this Senate estimates hearing as the Governor of the RBA, and she was careful to clarify some of the recent words she's used about having a low tolerance for inflation being unexpectedly persistent, saying that those kind of words are the same that the RBA has used recently. She says that goods inflation continues to moderate, but services inflation, i.e. wages, for example, is remaining sticky. Now, she also was quizzed about that hot CPI print that we saw yesterday of 5.4% year on year to the quarter. And she was asked about whether the RBA was wary of inflation getting out of control given these numbers. She was hesitant to label this new figure that we've seen in any specific way or indicate whether it could change the RBA's forecasts or thinking into the future. But she was willing to say this about rates.
We got an important piece of information yesterday. We need to take that away and analyse it and figure out what it means for our forecast going forward. Yes, we are wary, and we don't know if the job is done yet, and we've made that very clear. Even though we haven't raised interest rates since our last interest rate rise in June, we've made it very clear that we might need to go again.
There are questions being raised about whether the Labor government should consider cutting the fuel excise in the same way that the coalition government did back in 2022, around the time that the Ukraine war started. These are some perspectives we've gathered today.
Because we said it was temporary and because it was one of the only drivers of inflation back then, it did make a difference. Right now, though, there are other drivers of inflation as well, and you probably need a broader-based approach.
Labor is supposed to be more compassionate for working Australian families, right? So surely it's a short-term relief. You really have to think about it.
We are not making policy on the run. We have got a serious suite of measures out there that are having a real impact for Australian families, and our budget settings are all about keeping downward pressure on inflation and on interest rates.
The RBA Governor was asked about whether the government could be doing more to stop future rate hikes, and she said, from her perspective, the government is doing enough. And Ash, just a little fact for you here from the RBA Governor, considering there's so much coverage of the US at the moment. According to her, Australians are able to save in this higher interest rate environment, but US consumers, on the other hand, have spent through that buffer they managed to amass in the low rates era.
Goodness, Joel. OK, thank you.